Hello, and welcome to Inspiration with Sister Joy. I want to talk to you today about the power of courage. Courage is the stuff that dreams are made of. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a desire to do something? Oh my goodness, it was just burning and churning inside of you, but you were scared. You were scared to go out there and give it a whirl. But every day it just kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on until finally you said, I don't care what anybody says. Come what may, I'm going out there and get it. You went on out there with a lot of courage. And you know what? Once it was over, you said to yourself, man, that was pretty good. If I'd known it was going to be that easy, I would have done it a long time ago. Or you might have thought to yourself, wow, they really liked me. I had no idea they would like all this. I should have been out here a long time before. Fear is our greatest enemy. False expectations appearing real. If you're going to achieve your dream, you got to face your fears. And the only way you can face your fears is to go through them, is with courage. That's the only way you'll develop it. In the face of fear, you got to go ahead on anyway and not let it master you. I don't care if your knees are knocking and your hands are shaking and you got a tremble in your voice. Push on anyway. And the death of fear. Do the thing you fear the most, and the death of fear is certain. Well, you probably saying, well, yeah, Sister Joy, that all sounds real good. But how do you do it? I'm going to give you some tips today to kind of help you be able to do that. First of all, number one, have faith in God. Strengthen your faith in God because you need to have a strong spirit in order to have the courage to achieve your dream because there's a lot of things against you out there in the world today. Take time to come ye apart and commune with the Lord because the only way you'll ever get strong and courageous enough to achieve your dream is to be spiritually rooted. And don't ever let anybody tell you there is no God. That's a foolish person would even say that because that is our source of strength. God the good, omnipotent. Strengthen your faith in God and then strengthen your faith in yourself because greater is he that's within me than he that's in the world. If you don't believe in yourself, honey, who will? The other thing you have to do is get away from things that are making you scared. Don't sit up and watch all of those scary movies knowing you're going to put fear inside of yourself. Turn off the radio if it's something bad they talking a lot of bad stuff. Turn off the TV and don't read the newspapers. It's nothing but bad news. If you have to know about it, let somebody tell you, but try to get that fear off of yourself. The other thing you can do now, this is a technique that years ago I served with a man, a very wealthy man named Mr. W. Clement Stone. He was a billionaire, in fact. And Mr. Stone built a huge insurance corporation. And he often told the story that when he first started out, how scared he was. He said he would have to go from door to door in the buildings downtown in Chicago. And he said he was always scared because he didn't know what was going to be behind that next door. So he came up with a little statement that he would say to himself. And I've used this statement through the years myself. He would say, do it now, do it now. And when he do it now. And when he'd say that, he'd push himself right on through that door. And so that became his mantra. Do it now. Do it now. We have to do the same thing. Do it now. Whatever it is that's standing in front of you, that's scaring you to death, do it now. Go ahead and face it. Stand up to it, and you'll get strong. And you know you can't get strong if you don't lift something heavy. And I'm telling you, the more you go and do those things that you're afraid to do, the more courageous you'll become. And you'll get to the point that, honey, I don't care, come what may. You'll know how to stand your ground. You'll be one tough cookie. Or like Harvey Mackey, the author, says in the book Swim with the sharks. You'll be able to swim with the sharks, honey, without getting eaten alive. The other thing you must do that will help you to gain courage is read stories of courage. Read about all those men and women all over the world. A lot of them didn't have it as good as we do today, but they used their courage and determination to overcome obstacles. And when you read those stories, you'll say, wow, they could do it, so could I. You know, I have a saying that a quotation that I try to keep above my desk to remind me to have courage. Because quite frankly, I haven't always been the courageous woman that I have become today. In fact, I was downright cowardly about a lot of things. And I could tell you from my experience that when they say a coward dies 1,000 deaths, they know what they're talking about. Because I would, oh my God, wonder what they're going to think. I'm scared. I'm scared to go there. I don't know. We always try to hide, try to run away and hide. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. But if you'll stand up to it, stand up to whatever it is that's coming your way, and face it, then you'll find it's not as bad as you think in most instances. And you'll become a much stronger person. And I was thinking about people with courage. Oh my God, there's so many all over the world, men and women, who were courageous enough to live their dreams, and as a result, they were able to help a lot of people. But one in particular that I thought about was Bessie Coleman. I had always wondered about her, so I started doing some research and reading on her, and boy, was I amazed. Oh, Bessie Coleman, her dream was to be a pilot. Oh, she wanted to fly. But during the time when she wanted to do that, aviation was still actually in its infancy stage. In fact, the Wright brothers had only flown around at Kitty Hawk maybe about 18, 19 years earlier. And the planes were not perfected. They were so dangerous that, quite frankly, most men didn't have the courage to get in one, let alone a woman. And if they did chance to fly a plane, most of the ones who did fly it were men, number one. There were a few women, but not many. And number two, they were all wealthy and they were all white. Well, Bessie Coleman was none of those things. She was poor, she was a woman, and oh, she was black. She had 3 strikes against her. But she refused to accept the limitations that people wanted to put on her. She decided she was going after her dream. She didn't care what anybody said. She plucked up her courage and she applied to every aviation school in America that she could. And of course, they all turned her down. But she still was not defeated. She didn't give up hope. She didn't give up trying. And pretty soon, people started helping her. In fact, the founder of the Chicago Defender newspaper began to help her, and he helped her to find a school. It was in France, a famous aviation school that was willing to take her as a student. But Bessie still faced a lot of problems because, number one, she couldn't speak the language, and number two, she didn't have the money to go across the ocean and spend the time she needed living there and going to school. So she set out to try to help herself. She took a second job and saved her money. And she also enrolled in night school at Berlitz, going at night to learn French. And when she was ready, this courageous young woman packed her bags, boarded a ship, and traveled across the ocean to become a student at this famous aviation school. And when she arrived there, she was quite surprised when she saw the plane. that she had to learn in because it was a very dangerous plane made out of cardboard, cloth, aluminum, steel, and wire. And it was so unstable that a lot of times it would take off, they'd take off in it, and it would, right in midair, it would stop and then crash. In fact, Bessie almost lost her courage because one of her fellow classmates was got in one day and took off, and that's exactly what happened. It stalled in midair and crashed, and he was killed, and it was right before her eyes. And she said it shook her to her very core. She almost lost her nerve, but she didn't. She kept on trying. Well, in June of 1921, she received her pilot's license and became the very first African American woman to be able to fly, to have a pilot's license. And not only that, she also became the very first American of whether male or female of any race to gain her international pilot's license. She had the right to fly all over the world, wherever she wanted to go. Well, Bessie returned to the United States. She became a big celebrity. During that time, aviation was so new; they didn't have commercial flying, so she supported herself by becoming what they called a barnstormer. That was a pilot who would fly the stunt planes all over, and they'd get people to come and watch them. And so Bessie became one of the best in the world. She gained international attention because she was so good with doing the dips and the figure eights and being able to roll the plane. And people would come, thousands of people would just be glued to their seat watching this young, beautiful black woman fly that plane like she did. Well, Bessie's courage, because of her great courage, she was able to help millions of young people, inspiring them all over the world. And she was also able to help lots and lots and lots of women to become aviators and also African Americans. Bessie Coleman. They called her Brave Bessie because she had nerves of steel. And they called her Queen Bessie because she truly became queen of the air. What is your dream? What is it that you want to do? What are the fears that are facing you right now that you're afraid to go forward and try to overcome? You can do it. I know you can. Stop being afraid. Even if you have to start out slow, just do a little bit. Do a little bit right now. Just decide for yourself that you're going to stand up to your fears and face them. And just do a little bit. And you will achieve your goals. Well, this is Sister Joy. I'm going to sign off now. But I want you to know that I am praying for you. I'm praying that the rest of your life will be the best of your life. Till next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I won't say goodbye, but I will say toodaloo.